Okay, let's freaking continue. Maybe we can get lucky and I can finish reading this book today. That would be nice, because it's literally just shit. What percentage am I in? Like 68%, we said?
67.
I am 67% of the way through this book. So, again, just to summarize, the plot so far has been the Kai and Zedi wake up in a trap in a tomb that had been flooded with water, because being surrounded by water is supposed to completely nullify all of Kai's abilities and render him unconscious. Except for, and then we were told in a flashback that any amount of water between him and the ground, because he gets his powers from the earth and the underworld under the earth, any level of water between him and that cuts off his connection to magic, because he gets his power from the earth. But then that stopped applying when he needed to go out in a boat over the entire fucking ocean, as deep as the ocean is, and that wasn't causing problems. It's not like he did any kind of workaround, like carrying around a bag of dirt to stand on top of at all times or something like that. He drinks water. He drinks hot ginger water, literally called hot ginger water instead of just calling it fucking tea. He swims around in water at all times. He happily just sticks his hand over the side of the boat to play with the water, even though we were supposed to have established that water is like acid to him. Just touching it is supposed to be fucking painful. And now on page 278, the plan is now for Kai, for some fucking reason, to dive down into the gross, evil water at this city that got flooded however long ago. And we're pretending that the water is evil because it's not crystal clear. And again, I gotta mark off another one. Kai kept his expression under control despite the sick tension settling in his chest. He had known he would have to do this. The whole plan depended on it. There has been no plan made at all. No, we had no idea to know that he was gonna have to do this. But now that the moment was here, it was so much harder than he had expected. Every nerve in his body itched at the idea of sinking voluntarily under that dark water. Why? Why though? Why though? And since when was this the plan, and why can literally nobody else do it? The excuse for this is, but there was no way Dahin would be able to stay down long enough to reach the court and search for the stone. So I guess we are still looking for the fucking finding rock that will tell them where Taren is, supposedly, as though we give a shit about that. And then, okay, Zedi said, I'll be going too. And Dahin's like, yeah, that's probably for the best. You'll be making some kind of air bubble, correct? So why is Kai scared of the water if they're gonna be in a fucking bubble? Kai shied away from the immortal blessed device, because Dahin tried to hand him something that will let them breathe. As though he's scared of immortal blessed things, as though they didn't just willy-nilly summon an immortal blessed person that we were told multiple times would kill everybody and then didn't kill a single person. Didn't even threaten anybody. I didn't notice, but one person had pointed out that, yeah, Martha Wells is just reversing the tropes where the men wear skirts and the women wear pants. Like, it's really not doing anything. It's not commentary at all. And it's still literally saying you don't get to wear what you want. What you wear is dependent upon what gender you are. It's like, and literally nobody's fucking questioning this. Nobody is gender non-conforming in any way. Nobody's transgender. Nothing. We're now on page 279. We're just having there's so many things going on here, and it's just annoying. We're 279 pages in, and now we're abruptly getting a bunch of technology shoved at us, literally shoved at Kai, including a spiky cuff. Dahin was trying to force something like a spiky cuff around his ear. What does that fucking mean? And then this is another telepath. I guess it's supposed to, it's got spikes, and then it goes on the back of your ear, and it's supposed to stab you, and that's so that they can, this way we'll be able to hear each other if you need help. And then stuff. Just so much bullcrap. There's so much shit going on here. Now on page 280. And then they were told to shove some clay up their nose for reasons, but not in their ears, because the water has magical, weird properties, and also has like animal fats and stuff from all the lamps that had been down there. But hasn't it been like decades? Who gives a shit? Whatever. Okay, but like if you have to plug up your nose so water doesn't go in there, why aren't you putting it in your ears? People get water in their ears all the time. That's a known fucking problem. I don't know why only Zeddy is in the air bubble, but I guess it's just reasons. Zeddy said, hold on. Ziti drifted down beside, still on page 280, Ziti drifted down beside him until her bubble of air bumped against the dark shape of a balustrade. The hand light Dahin had given her glowed, and her clothes swirled like she was caught in a miniature storm. Kai managed to move his arms in a way that pulled him through the water to give her room. Through the pearl, and a heartbeat later in a whisper from the ear cuff, Ziti said, "We didn't account for Kai's non-existent ability to swim." I think that's supposed to be funny, and also, what do you mean he doesn't know how to fucking swim? And why would you not? There's so many things wrong with that statement. Again, with the meme, Samantha Carter saying everything about that statement is wrong. You're telling me these people have been friends with a demon a mortal lifetime. That was the quote used to talk about how long ago all this shit had happened in the past. We said it was a mortal lifetime ago.
Which implies
whatever that
minimum of a maximum of 100 years. Or
yeah.
rather a minimum.
Yeah.
Like 80 to 100 years.
Yeah, that's like 80 to 100 years. Like, you're telling me they've been friends with a demon for a mortal lifetime, and demons are supposedly really weak to water, but none of you factor in the fact that he doesn't know how to swim in a plan that for some fucking reason requires him to go down, even though Ziti's literally here in a goddamn air bubble? This makes no fucking sense at all. Why is Kai doing this at all? Ziti is literally right there in a fucking air bubble, and they have magical technology that lets you breathe underwater, which is what Kai is using, even though he doesn't need to breathe. What in the fuck is this? Besides just he has to do it because he's the protagonist, even though literally all fucking logic demands he not be doing this. Like, you could have made the excuse, he's the only one who can do it because his body's already dead. Everybody else is alive. He can hold his breath longer than anybody else. But then you tell us Ziti can just do it perfectly fine. Not even any hesitation. Nobody's concerned that the bubble won't last long. Nothing. It's like, this is just so fucking stupid. Why doesn't Ziti just do it? In his, all of a sudden on page 281, after saying, "We didn't account for Kai's inability to swim," in his ear, Dahin whispered, "Kai, are you sleeping with that man? I can count the number of times Bashasa spoke to you that sharply on the fingers of one hand, if half of them were missing." What?
Isn't Ziti speaking?
No, this is Dahin speaking now.
No. Is Ziti the one that just spoke?
When?
This guy's asking.
To say we forgot that Kai can't swim?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was Ziti talking. With the heart walkie-talkies, and then all of a sudden, the last page before here, we were on page 279, we got just a whole shit ton of magical technology shoved at us, including magical ear cuffs that stab you in the back of the ear that is just a fucking Bluetooth headphone, microphone, cell phone. Just all of a sudden, this far into the fucking book. This far into the fucking book, and that shit gets introduced. Along with that, we got that introduced. We got thing that you just wear over your chest on a strap that lets you breathe and lets you go down and up in water.
So he does not need to know how to swim.
And is a fucking flashlight.
So he does not need to know how to swim.
No.
He can
literally
just
anybody else that is not Kai, the demon who's supposed to be weak to water, who doesn't know how to swim, could be fucking doing this. And now we're just suddenly getting on 281. Dahin is like, "Kai, are you sleeping with that man?" About Ramad. Also, I have a question. Where the fuck are the children? Where are the children? Because Ziti and Kai
the children we're supposed to care about.
Where the fuck are they? Because Ziti and Kai and Ramad, all three adults, are down here with Dahin. Where the fuck are the children? Where the fuck are they? Actually, when the fuck was the last time they were mentioned? I genuinely don't know. Where the fuck are they? Like,
Maybe
What's
this is
going
before
on?
She came up with their characters and inserted them in.
Like, especially because they were saying that, that there's somebody besides Dahin here. There's other immortal blessed are supposed to be here because they found one of their boats, which I guess is separate from Dahin's boat, or maybe it was his boat. Because then they then they said they found another boat, didn't they? Like, where the fuck? Yeah, I don't know where the children are. Completely unaccompanied inside this apparently magically poisonous, cursed, flooded city. Where the fuck are they? Because I thought Ziti was supposed to be staying with them, or maybe Renamad was. What is going on? I wish I could just control F this, but that doesn't work with a physical fucking book. Where the fuck were these children? Okay, let it be known that on page 281, I realized we don't know where fucking Sanja and Tenez are. I'll write that on my arm.
Bookmark, just flip back a few pages to see their names.
I don't see their names before. I flipped to the start of this present timeline chapter and I don't see their names mentioned there. And I don't want to have to go all the way back to the thing.
She's friendly, she wants to go.
Because the tops of the pages just say Martha Wells and Witch King. It doesn't tell you what chapter it is, so. Do I really gotta go to the table of contents? Beep, beep, beep. Oh, there better be a table of contents. There's no table of contents. What the fuck? Are you serious? Are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? There's no table of contents. Maybe I'm missing it. We have the title page, Witch King. We have books also by Martha Wells. We have a title page, Witch King again. We have the copyright page. We have a page that says To Felicia. We have the map. We have a blank page. We have the dramatis personae. We have a blank page. We have the title page again, and then it's just chapter 1. There's no fucking table of contents. I don't know what page what is going on? Let me put my fucking bookmark in. Hold on. This is ridiculous. So there's no table of contents. What in the frickety fuckity flippity fuck? Okay.
So,
I managed to flip back. Okay. Sanja is mentioned on page 240. Alright. Hold on. Okay, so I guess the children were last mentioned on page 239. Where is it at? Oh, that was when we acted like it was a really interesting question to ask. Did the hierarchs start putting faces on their boats because the immortal blessed did, or something like that? That's apparently the last time these children are mentioned.
and it doesn't say they go anywhere.
Okay. No. Okay, last mention on page 240, blah blah blah. Kai turned to Tenez, who was keeping a wary eye on their surroundings. He caught her attention and signed, "Keep watch here?" Tenez signaled assent. Kai said, "Sanja, stay here with Tenez." Uneasy, Sanja hugged herself and nodded. "You're going to find these people?" "Only if we can avoid it," Kai said. "We're going to find what we came for and get out." And then Kai, Ziti, and Ramad, all 3 fucking adults, are just wandering in. They're just going into the city all by themselves. That was on page 240. They've just told the kids to wait in the abandoned, cursed, poisoned water, scary, magical poisoned water, like right next to the river, on some abandoned dock filled with gross, rotting, moldy boats. And they've just been standing there we're on page 280. They've been there all by themselves for 40 fucking pages. What in the fuck?
Are they at least like?
And it took me this long to realize that the children weren't. There's no adult supervision at all. Even though we were.
Are they on a boat?
No, because their boat might fall apart. Their ghost boat might fall apart, apparently, conveniently as soon as they got here. So they took all their stuff off the boat and then told the kids to wait there. I don't know what there is. Let me flip back and see if there's a single description.
I think you're going to come away from this book with more knowledge about what happened in it than half the people who read it.
They went through some giant water gate. Tucked into the side of the massive earthwork, the harbor should have been familiar, but Kai had only seen it blah 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 blah. The moat flowed into a large semicircular pool, and at its far end was a tall arch, now closed off by heavy metal-bound doors that led to a large cavern of docks and barge slips. The years of abandonment showed in the plaza on the far side of the pool, where clumps of flowers and mosses, those are the ones I mentioned that don't get any, we don't even know what color they are, had sprouted in every crack and gap. Stone stairs curled up the slope from the plaza, heavily overshadowed with brush but mostly intact as far as Kai could see. In the retaining wall between the stairs and the harbor pool, there was another archway, also closed off by heavy doors. It was easily tall enough for loaded wall walkers to pass through, and would open into the cavern that held the stables and storage for wheeled vehicles. In the high outer wall, the massive gate. I'm reading this all off, and I have no idea what the fuck is being described. In the high outer wall, the massive gate that led to the now demolished bridge was shut, and its locking mechanism of multiple bars and gears and chains was rusted into place. The barred portcullis. I've never known since playing Spore how that's supposed to be pronounced. Portcullis? I don't know. That thing. The board portcullis inside it had also been dropped. So they are going into the archway and into the cover of the shadowy cavern. There was no sound or sense of anything alive. Ziti's wind devils found no trace of living intruders, not even any nesting birds or river rats. The place was as quiet as a room deep underground, the drip of water from the stone vaults overhead oddly loud in the dark. There were only a few boats left, mostly small, rickety craft rejected by the refugees who had escaped here so many years ago. One large hulking, half-hidden, ornamental barge had also been left behind, its gilded wood glinting as the imps briefly swarmed it. After a struggle, they got their barge close enough to a stone slip for Tenez and Sanja to jump off and help guide it in with the ropes. Kai said, "We better take our supplies off in case it falls apart." That was on page 237 to 238, and then the children were told to wait here on page 240. So to fucking clarify all of that, they're in a thing that's here. It's in the middle of a very deep, very wide moat that's now filled with supposedly magically poisoned water. There's no life inside this place at all, including just random birds flying in and making their nests in there for convenience. So there's no animals ever going in there, ever. And then the bridge to get from this across the moat to the rest of the area is demolished. And they brought the children inside the flooded with poisonous magical water and dumped them there, and the kids have been just sitting back there by themselves for 40 pages. Despite the fact that there might still be immortal blessed people that running around here that could kill them, unless that boat was supposed to have belonged to Dahin, but it sounded like it was separate from him. But it also hasn't been brought back up, so maybe that was literally just his boat. Even though they're not supposed to like him, so why does he have a boat? So many things are confusing. Why are we leaving the children out there? Like, if anything happens to all four adults in here, because they're all in the danger zone, those children are just going to be stuck there in an area that no animal ever comes in. Like, there wasn't even signs of abandoned nests. So something is happening to keep shit out and kill anything that might even wander in. I don't think that's where you should be dropping off kids, especially alone, with no supervision. Like, what in the frick? Alright, now that we've solved that mystery, we're back on page 281. Where Dahin is asking, Kai, are you sleeping with Ramad? Because they were arguing. And apparently only people who are having sex together can argue.
Like an old married couple.
Mm-hmm.
Go fill the sink with water and stuff for the dishes so they can be washed when it's storming again.
It's weird with the little magical fucking Bluetooth, spiky eared Bluetooth thing. Kai speaking to Dahin isn't just in italics, but then Dahin replying is in with quotes like normal fucking dialogue. It's unnecessarily confusing. Ziti interrupted. We can sort this out later when we're not so concerned with drowning. So why does Martha Wells keep doing this? She keeps having the characters start conversations, just asking questions, and then interrupts it before literally any information can be given at all. Like, what is the fucking point of that? I'm sorry, but this is just making it sound like Martha Wells doesn't know anything about water. Kai saw a solid mass below and stuck his arm out to slow his downward motion. The paving of the courtyard was covered in something discolored and oozy that looked nothing like creek or riverbed mud. Is that random sudden rain?
It's not random or sudden, but yeah.
Kai's memory of how easy it was to get lost in here was only too vivid. If you're not lost, you've never been lost in this place ever. What are you fucking talking about? We're now on page 282. Does this mean I'm gonna have to cancel the YouTube upload?
No.
That's on my laptop, which is plugged in again.
What?
I said, which is on my laptop, which is plugged in again.
I mean, it is in the power panel.
Okay. It's okay, Gizmo. You can't just keep... This is so absurd. God. 282. Kai followed Ziti. She had spent 4... Are you listening? I'll wait. This is so funny. Alright, are you ready for this?
No, not good. You fucking.
Kai followed Ziti. She had spent far more time in this maze of courtyards, and corridors than he had. He would like to banish the whole time from his memory, except that this was where he had met them all right? Ziti, Taren, Dahin, Salato, and Arsha, and Talar, and Nirana, Hartel, Sirala, Bashasa. You'll notice that half those names are not fucking characters. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, we gotta do another one. This is so fucking pathetic. Pro tip, guys. You're not literally supposed to write what you are claiming and marketing as a standalone novel as though it's the fourth novel in a fucking series. If you write that way, it's just shit fucking writing. It's not clever. Exposition exists for a fucking reason. Like... I don't want to be here. It hurts too much, he thought. It's just like... Why is she telling us that Kai cares about, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whole characters whose names haven't even been mentioned? Saladel, at least, was mentioned. Who the fuck are Arsha, Talar, Nirana, Hartel, and Sirala? What are you fucking talking about? What is this shit? And so many people read this book and weren't able to even get to the end and thought that it's their fault that they don't understand what is going on and don't understand who the characters are and don't remember who anybody is. And now here on page 282, Martha Wells is just throwing literally 5 brand new fucking names at us and telling us that... Did you hear any of that?
No.
Kai followed Ziti. She had spent far more time in this maze of courtyards and corridors than he had. He would like to banish the whole time from his memory, except that this is where he had met them all. Ziti, Taren, Dahin, Saladel, and Arsha, and Talar, Nirana, Hartel, Sirala, Bashasa.
That's hilarious.
Like, Salatul was mentioned. She is a non-fucking character. She's the one random fucking lady told to guard Kai. She's not a friend of anybody. As far as I know, she could have just died like 5 seconds later. She at least gets mentioned. The names Arsha, Talar, Nirana, Hartel, and Sirala are brand fucking new.
Also, just the fact that they all are so similar.
Uh-huh.
I thought you
And-
were reciting a spell.
No. They are...
Narada, Nick, Verada, Nick too.
Literally. And I think these fuckers are listed in the, yeah, I'm reading it now. I've scrolled back to the Dramatis Personae. Hiranen, Ashar, I just already forgot all their names. These people are listed in the goddamn fucking thing for some reason. And we're just, and they've
And
never,
you're on what page?
page
Out of
282.
Out of
This part,
414 in a standalone novel.
a standalone novel, and we're told that all of these people are Kai's friends, and like we've only met 3 of them, 4 of them if you count Bashasa, but I don't really count that because he's only existed in the past and hasn't fucking done much. Literally, Arsha, Talar, Nirana, Hartel, and Sirala are literally non-characters. They are non-entities. This is the first time this is fucking ridiculous. Why is ZD wearing a scarf? Kai didn't see the archway out of the courtyard. Every time it says court, I'm correcting it to courtyard. It's a fucking courtyard. Kai didn't see the archway out of the courtyard until Ziti made an oof noise as her bubble bumped into the wall. She turned, caught in his light, her tunic and the ends of her scarf drifting a little, buoyed by the air around her. That is unnecessary information. Just get the fuck on with it. Why is she wearing a scarf? Would you not take off a scarf if you're going underwater? What if the bubble pops and you have to swim back up to the surface? You want your goddamn scarf to get stuck on something?
Strangle you?
And strangle you? And what's this scarf made of? Is it gonna weigh like 50 fucking pounds if it gets wet?
When it gets wet.
When it gets wet. And again, why the fuck is Kai doing this? Ziti not only has the access to the exact same magical lets you breathe underwater device as he does, and the exact same magical ear cuff that existed just for this scene because it was pulled out of a fucking hat. And she can have a magical air bubble that gives her air. She can literally use all of the precautions at once for a double safety fucking measure. She literally has the goddamn air bubble so that she hopefully won't need the thing that you put over your chest that lets you breathe underwater. But in case the air bubble does pop, she would then have the thing that lets you breathe underwater. Like, what is this shit? And she, unlike Kai, can fucking swim. So what are they gonna fucking do? And there's been no explanation for why only Ziti is in an air bubble. We don't get an explanation for why they can't just both be in the same air bubble or have two air bubbles or anything. Like, why is it happening like this? Besides that, this is what Martha Wells needs to happen for some goddamn reason, and it's probably going to be a stupid fucking reason. It's just ridiculous. There's so many fucking questions, and none of them have fucking answers. It was much colder now, and Kai was glad they hadn't let Ramad come. It was bad enough for him and Ziti, but Immortal wouldn't have lasted long, and might have been made ill even from limited exposure to whatever was in this foul, oily soup. So I guess that's confirmation that Ziti and witches do not count as mortals, for some fucking reason. And it's like, well, literally nobody needs to have even limited exposure to whatever is in this foul, oily soup. You have a magical air bubble. It could literally just be Ziti doing this. Or Ziti and you in the magical fucking air bubble. This is so fucking bad.
Especially because
Now Martha Wells is trying to justify all this bullshit now, immediately following that. Even with Dahin's immortal blessed devices, Kai would never have managed this without Ziti. Her memory of this place was obviously clearer than his. But then, she had spent more time here, risked everything to be here, helping Bashasa plan. So, what you're telling me is, Kai doesn't need to be doing this at all, and it should literally just be Ziti going down while Kai waits up above. That would literally be a more productive use of our time. We could sit up there with Kai, and he just gets running commentary from Ziti through the heart fucking walkie-talkie.
That would also build tension.
Yeah.
Suspense.
Yeah, like, instead of just reminding us all again that Kai's weakness to water doesn't exist until the plot says it should exist, and nobody can fucking take it seriously. What do you have against Gar? At the very bottom of page 282. Well under the weed mat now, the dark outer range of their lights was absolute. At least the water was so poisonous it wasn't full of snakes or Gar. As though water snakes or Gar would be trying to attack you? What? What do you have against Gar? Go look up Florida Gar. They're beautiful. Now on page 283. And yawning. Kai, don't fall behind, Ziti said. We're almost there. Yeah, it's almost like you shouldn't be down here at all. Ziti literally knows where they're going. Has the fucking magical... Oh, it's just so fucking stupid. Kai even says it. Ziti, you're brilliant. I couldn't have found the way here. Why is he doing this at all? Him being the protagonist isn't even a good excuse. Because a good, well-written fucking protagonist, the author is aware that they don't have to fucking do everything, actually. I'm surprised I remembered it so well, she admitted, floating above the fountain. I thought I'd done such a good job of banishing the whole thing from my mind. That's dumb. Kai made his way to the fountain. His body was about here. Desiccated when Kai had drained his life, held down by heavy fabric and leather and metal ornaments, he didn't think it would have floated or drifted far. After a mortal lifetime has passed? With water that very specifically was like magically bursting up out of nowhere and making everything go upwards very violently? Now on page 284. So they did find the guy's body exactly where they thought it would be, because we're not actually using logic, which would say that, yeah, when the magical water did the explode upward thing, it would have fucking moved his body. Cloth and jewelry is not heavy enough for that shit when you have a magical tsunami. And, again, let's like a mark. Dahin's voice said sharply, Kai, remember to breathe. The device won't work if you don't breathe. Because we're just getting told, literally by another character, that Kai forgot to breathe. Because he's disappointed. Because he's searching the bones in the mud exactly where the guy died despite the magical tsunami. And it's not here. Kai's heart sank all the way down into the murk. That counts as another one. I can't find it. I don't even know what we're looking for at this point. Are we still looking for the finding stone, or are we here to look at the map of Dahin's with the random mystery of, ooh, we don't know where the bad guys came from?
Or is he looking for his body?
No, they were looking for the guy's body to find a thing that he apparently doesn't have. Now on page 285. And like, there's supposed to be a really heavy mat of weeds on the surface of the water. And then somebody was like, has anybody tried cutting through that? And then they all just said, no, we would probably drown if we tried. And it's like, can't you just get a stick and pull it towards you where you're sitting on solid surface and just Just poke shit into it to try and break it up.
We'd drown if we did that.
Like,
except for what you're doing now.
like literally, how is leaving? And now Kai's worried. He's intensely, where was it? He was intensely aware of the heavy mat above their heads. If Ziti started to drown, sheer terror might give him enough power for an intention to drive a hole through it to the surface, but he would rather not have to. And it's like, you guys didn't even try to break it up. It could just be fucking water hyacinths for all you know. Just poke it with fucking sticks and see what happens. Okay, so ZD is they're trying to look for the thing on the bottom, and there's mud down there that we're pretending is more than just mud. It's evil mud. They want to clear the mud from the floor of the thingy so that they can find whatever the fuck they're looking for. I don't even remember at this point because they're not making it clear. Like, we kind of interrupted the main quest of find the fucking finding stone with Dahin's dramatic reveal of, we don't know where the hierarchs come from. Maybe they're gonna come back. And now I guess we're just continuing on with the main quest of find the rock. Like we didn't. Like I thought that was supposed to be overriding that quest because he came here to look at a mural on a wall that they saw for like 5 seconds in the past. But whatever. So ZD's going back up to the surface, and he's going to try and make a bunch of wind to swirl the water around so that they can get the mud off the ground.
She can't do that from her air bubble?
She apparently can't do anything down underwater without bursting her air bubble, and the wind devils can't go underwater. So she's going to somehow use wind in a confined space to make enough wind in the small confined space to make all of the water move while Kai's still down there for some fucking reason.
And everybody else.
Yeah. And meanwhile, the children still just completely unaccompanied. And if all of these adults die, then the children will just be trapped on this fucking poison surrounded thing that not even birds will fly over to. Because it's so evilly poisoned and bad. And again, the magic system just does literally whatever is required for the fucking plot. Kai is gonna use some expositor magic, which means we're calling it an intention. He's drawing an intention that's gonna do something. Who the fuck knows? It's going to use the water motion ZD would provide to lift the muck gently upward. Now on page 286, we've turned a page. Kai stopped listening to them, needing all his concentration to make the design as gentle as possible. If he got this wrong, it would make it impossible to see anything in here. Because we're pretending that magic is a difficult thing, as though it doesn't just do literally whatever is required for the plot.
What's the upload at?
15%. Oh, just cancel it. Just put my laptop to sleep. Is it supposed to get stronger, or is this going to end in 5 minutes?
Let's get stronger.
Alright. go to sleep. Shutting my damn laptop down again.
We got a special weather statement until 6:45 for strong thunderstorms with wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour.
Okay. This one's it. Let me check what the battery's at. 21%. Whoopsie daisies. Alright, well I gotta charge my phone. No, we're this close to finishing this chapter. Let's see if any other things that need protesting happen. Oh, it's just gonna be stupid as fuck. Alright, yeah, it's where the characters are doing even more stupid shit that I will need to comment on. So we're just ending the video now before my phone dies. So bye-bye.